Sometimes when life gets a little crazy, I head over to Costco and I buy a rotisserie chicken to map out my meals for the week. So today, we are gonna take this rotisserie chicken and make 3 meals out of it. They're gonna be quick, it's gonna be delicious, and it's gonna be easy. Let's do it. So whenever I'm meal prepping, I like to start with the one that's gonna take the longest first. So what you're gonna do, preheat that oven to the highest temperature it can go to. So my oven is at 475. We are gonna be making some pizza dough, and it'll be a high protein pizza dough. So we have 1.5 cups of self-rising flour. Okay, and then to the flour, I'm gonna add a pinch of salt to give it some flavor, along with some garlic powder. Feel free to use any sort of seasonings in here to give it a little bit of flavor. This is about like maybe a teaspoon. And then I have a cup of Greek yogurt. I'm not gonna use it all though, because this can get pretty liquidy, so I just wanna have like a dough consistency. I can always add, I can't take out. So that's about 3/4. And then we have a tablespoon of olive oil. All right, we're gonna mix it all up. And at around this consistency, I like to just get in there with my hands, because you know what? They're the best tools in the kitchen. So you could see it's crumbling together like a dough, almost like a puff, like a pastry dough actually. And we want it to pretty much mold together. So I'm probably gonna add the rest of that Greek yogurt in here. Okay, so at this point, once it's almost totally combined, we'll just put it on our board. And we're gonna knead this for about 8 to 10 minutes. The longer you knead, the better. And this will give you that chance to like incorporate it into a dough. Put that elbow grease in it. Okay, so your dough will look like this after about 8 to 10 minutes. It almost has a biscuit-like texture, and I just placed it on parchment paper to make my life easy. This will be much easier for you if you have parchment paper, so you could roll it out. I'll just apply the other one on top. We're gonna pat it down a bit. And then we're gonna go in with the rolling pin. And just remember, this does not have to look perfect, and you can do how thick as you want. I'm gonna go a little more because it is awfully thick. Okay, I think we are good now. Yeah. Okay, and at this point, if you want to get a little crust going, you can just like crimp the edges up a little bit. So I'm gonna go through and just almost make like a crust. Okay, that looks great. I love it. All right, that looks perfect. So the other plus about using the parchment paper is just slide it onto your pizza pan. And we are gonna par bake this crust for about 10 minutes. So I had to lower the heat on my oven because my fire alarm went off. So I dropped it to 375, so I'm probably gonna go a little longer. But if you're at a high temperature, 10 minutes is pretty much all you'll need. So I'm just gonna look out for when it starts to like puff up a little bit and turn a little brown, but not cooked. Okay, so I've taken the crust out. As you could see, it got nice and light brown. It puffed up a little bit, we love that. So 375, it was actually 12 minutes. So not too bad. If you don't wanna put your oven up really high, 375 works just as well. We have some barbecue sauce. This is just made with vegetables. It's just a healthier alternative if you are concerned about that. It's a really good brand. I thoroughly enjoy it. And I'm just gonna scoop some on here as our tomato sauce. And you'll do as much or as little as you like. If you like it really saucy, go to town. So I think this is about like 3 to 4 tablespoons is what I did. All right, then we're gonna add the cheese. And I just did 3 ounces. Feel free to add more. It's entirely up to you. We're gonna add some sliced red onions and then our chicken. And I just pulled a mixture of the dark and the white meat on here. And I think that's a good amount. Just to make sure every bite you get some chicken, you know? Okay, back in the oven to finish up. We want the cheese to be melted, the crust to get a little browner, and then it should be good to go. Okay, so while the pizza's doing its thing, we are gonna start on prepping the veggies for the next meal, which is going to be a fried rice. And a lot of these meals with rotisserie chicken, I like to use up whatever I have in the fridge. So a fried rice is the perfect one to do that with. The whole idea when doing vegetables is just making sure that they are pretty uniform and similar in size so that they all cook up evenly. Okay, then I have some broccoli. Like, this is too big. This will take longer to cook than these little guys. So we're just gonna like rough chop them through. Doesn't have to be perfect. Plus, I like my broccoli in smaller bites. I don't know about you. Do what makes you happy. The reason I'm going smaller on the broccoli as well is because the carrots and broccoli, I'm going to be cooking those first together in the pan. And I want them to evenly cook and get done cooking at the same time. And then I have bell pepper in my fridge, so why the heck not? But if you don't like bell pepper, don't add it. This is whatever you have in your fridge. Edamame, peas, that'll go good with this. And then, although not ideal, I still have half an onion, so I'm just gonna rough chop this in there. Okay, and that's pretty much all the prep for the next dish, so we can even get that started. All right, before we actually get started on the next meal, look at the beautiful pizza. I mean, it smells amazing. That crust, if you guys can see, gorgeous. All right, we are gonna top this with a little cilantro. You know how that Buffalo barbecue pizza goes. You gotta add the cilantro. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's good. In all honesty, with how strong the flavors are with the barbecue, the cheese, the onion, you won't even notice that it's not a yeast dough. This will satisfy any pizza night. And let your imagination go crazy with the toppings. You don't have to do a barbecue pizza. You could do like a chicken Alfredo kind of thing, or even just simple marinara with chicken. All right, let's get started on meal number 2. So this entire meal is gonna be made in this pan. We are gonna start with the carrots and broccoli. I'm gonna just oil up the pan a little bit. I'm using olive oil. You can use any oil you have on hand. And we are gonna pop these in here. And then you're gonna add some water into the pan. This is about like 4 ounces. And I'm gonna cover it so that they steam cook. Okay, so these have been going for about 5 minutes. And at this point, I'm gonna add some salt. You just wanna make sure you're seasoning every layer. And then I'll just cover it back up for another 3 minutes. Okay, and at this point, after the 3 minutes, I'm just gonna leave the lid off and let the water evaporate. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna cook the veggies to like the perfect al dente, so that as you continue cooking, they're just gonna continue softening up a bit. All right, so the water has pretty much evaporated. There is still some left, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm going to plop in the bell peppers and the red onions at this point and cook those down. Okay, once these have cooked down a little bit, I'm gonna add in the chicken. This is about 2.5 cups. And I did dice it up into smaller pieces just to make it easier to eat and for cooking. And this is where we are gonna season up the veggies and the chicken. I'm gonna add some toasted sesame oil, about a tablespoon worth. Garlic, about 2 teaspoons. And of course, some ginger. about a tablespoon. And we have coconut aminos. If you don't have this, you can use soy sauce. This is just what I have on hand, so I'm using it. And I would say 1/4 a cup. It smells good. I'm excited. And we're gonna make sure to add some sriracha for a little kick. If you don't like spice, don't add it. And at this point, this is where I would add the pre-cooked rice, which is what I usually have on hand. Like I cook it the night before. But this time I'm going to use some Trader Joe's rice that's pretty much microwavable, but I'm just going to put it in the pan and have it cook that way. Okay, I'm going to pop the lid back on one last time just so those flavors can meld together. All right. So the rice got cooked through. Perfect. Now for the next step, we have 2 eggs. And I'll just scramble them in here, makes it easier. All right, look at dish number 2. It looks so good. Okay, so keep in mind, I just used 1 packet of rice. That's all I had on hand. I would say probably do 2 for this one, but you could see how much we've made. It was a very big amount. So let's give it a try. So good. You get a little spice. You definitely get the ginger, which I love personally. And then that coconut aminos comes in with the sweetness and a little tang. This is great. Perfect for meal prepping for the week. And it's so easy. It came together in one pan. Our last dish is going to be pretty easy and it stores in the fridge really well. And it'll last you for the week. So let's get into it. Okay, next up we are going to be making a chicken salad. But we're gonna do a curry chicken salad, which is one of my favorites. I love curry chicken salad, it's so good. All right, so I have 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. And then to cut some of the fat, I'm gonna do 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt. Season her up with some pepper, some salt. I'm going to add a teaspoon of ground mustard. And then I like a lot of curry, so I'm going about 2 to 3 tablespoons worth. And I completely forgot to pick up lime. So we're just gonna use a little distilled vinegar, about a teaspoon worth. And we're doing this to get a little acid. Actually, I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons to cut from all that fat we got going on. I'm gonna whisk it together to make the dressing. And what's great is I'm gonna use the bowl that I had the leftover chicken in, and I just diced it up slightly just to make it into smaller pieces. We're gonna add the red onion. I have a cup of diced up grapes. If you don't have grapes or don't like grapes, you can use raisins. I like to use golden raisins. And then we're gonna add in our dressing. All right, we're gonna give this baby a good mix, get it all coated with the dressing. And we're gonna add some chopped cilantro. Now, I do like to add cashews to this, like roasted cashews, but my husband has a nut allergy, so I do not add it to it. But definitely go to town. If you like cashews, even roasted almonds would be great. Just to add a little crunch to it. And there we have it, curry chicken salad. All it needs is the lid and it just hangs out in the fridge until you're ready to eat it. So this does taste better once it's sat in the fridge for a little bit, but I'm gonna give it a try now, make sure my salt levels are good. Yeah, definitely needs more salt. But ooh, that tastes so good. The curry comes through really, really well. And if you're not so concerned about your fat content, definitely use a cup of mayonnaise versus the 1/2 and 1/2 mayo Greek yogurt that I did. All right, let's. Yeah, I can definitely sit here and eat this whole thing. Curry chicken salad is one of my favorites. The grapes add like a little crunch, but definitely some freshness to it that I thoroughly enjoy. And usually the way I just serve this up and eat it is either on a bed of lettuce, or I take a low carb tortilla and just stuff it and make like a little sandwich wrap out of it. So good. So I hope these recipes gave you some rotisserie chicken inspiration for the next time you need to make dinner or meal prep. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments which one you're gonna recreate, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.